very emotional, and you really touched me. I believed every word you sang.
Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the magnetic performances given by X Factor auditionees and contestants, which drew the biggest emotional responses.
If this audition goes the way I think it goes, it's gonna be amazing.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 10. Chico Slimmani's integrating medley. Ignore the clocks, we all know what time it really is. Let's be honest. The X Factor courted controversy over the preconception that it will pluck out folk with little talent and manufacture artists. And Chico's audition, way back in Series 2, didn't help. However, you can't deny it. He is a star.
And if I ever fall in love, so true.
It was a fight to the top for him, literally, as Chico's bizarre medley of divergent songs with his own take and dance moves caused an argument between an impatient Simon Cowell and steadfast Louis Walsh. The former even walked out, alleging that Chico's inclusion would make a mockery of the show.
No offence, Chico, but you're pathetic.
Well, who's laughing now? Well, actually, it's still us. But so is Chico. Remember, he did reach number 1 with It's Chico Time.
It's Chico time.
Number 9. Andrew Murehead makes a mess of things. Lyrics to any song are pretty much available everywhere. They used to be on vinyl sleeves, then booklets in CD cases, and now just Google them. Either way, gone are the days of transposing as you hear a song. Unless you're Andy, who either misinterpreted or misheard a particular line of Busted's Air Hostess. Using the wrong verb tense can change the entire meaning of lyrics, and Andy certainly messed, ED, up this one.
That messed my pants when we flew over.
The result? A panel of judges breaking into fits of laughter, with Sharon falling off her chair as the bemused auditionee looks on. Well, at least the poor guy got a reaction, so it wasn't a complete busted. Sorry, bust. Number 8. Anthony Russell's return awakened. We all know the X Factor had a tendency to lay it on thick with the emotional backstory at times. However, there are times where the story really is that poignant. In this case, it's made even more so by how much the show was actually involved. Anthony Russell's 2017 X Factor journey came to an abrupt and scandalous end upon discovery of illicit substances.
Anthony, who hit you, my darling?
Well, I was coming home from a gig and I got jumped.
Anthony may have written off his performance career, but One Direction's Louis Tomlinson, himself a former contestant and future judge, found the singer and sent him on the road to recovery.
I can't tell where the journey will end, but I know where to start.
1 year on, and he is overwhelmed to see how far Anthony climbed back to give a spine-chilling performance. Number 7. Dalton Harris ends on a high. Dalton Harris's place in history is settled as the final winner of the X Factor. With him, it's not hyperbole to say the show ended with a peak performance. He had already stunned judges and audiences with his audition, and had the nation talking with his cover of Elton John's Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word.
When sorry seems to be the hardest word.
It didn't take a music mogul to know Dalton would go far with that talent, yet he went even further. Bringing the house down with A Song for You in the 2018 final, the judges were left amazed and awestruck, including Simon Cowell, whose act was the sole competition. To say, without hyperbole, even if it is mispronounced, that it was one of the best performances is praise indeed.
And now I'm singing this song to you.
Number 6. Seeing what Matt Cardell can really do. He would go on to win the competition that year, but in 2010, Matt Cardell was a bit of a slow burner. There was no doubt that he was supremely talented and would never face much in the way of criticism, except for one crucial element of his performance: his confidence.
I can really feel the nerves in the air. And it was almost like you and the song were having a punch-up in the middle.
It seemed, for the first half of the series at least, that he was holding back, fighting the songs he was singing, instead of letting them fight for him. But when enough was enough, Cardell pulled this performance out of the bag. Emboldened and strong, juxtaposing the vulnerability of the lyrics, his performance generated sheer pride from the audience, and especially the judges, who were stunned to see just how good the singer really was.
That was completely and utterly stunning.
Number 5. Christian Burroughs' inspirational audition. Again, the X Factor could sometimes make a mountain out of a molehill. Everyone has a story to tell, sure, but when the story is real, it's understated, raw, and powerful. Christian Burroughs seemed like an unassuming, albeit nervous, auditionee, but he truly had a story to tell.
Do you want to perform it?
I can do. I feel like I'm ready.
It's entirely your choice, Christian.
Encouraged to forego singing his hero Ed Sheeran's song in favour of his own, Christian debuted Two Again, a sombre, acoustic ode to his departed brother and a tribute to the love they shared.
I'm not the same, but I hope you're proud. I wish your little face was still around.
Performing the sorrowful yet uniquely inspiring words was a brave moment, and it was that decision to bare his soul that elicited a speechless response from the judges. And when they eventually did rediscover the ability to speak, they couldn't stop praising Christian.
I'm so happy to say yes.
Number 4. Jade Richards' first go. A lot of X Factor stars actually needed a few attempts to get their journey started. We'll mention one particular contestant who won despite a failed first attempt momentarily. But for now, let's focus on Fife lassie Jade Richards.
Found a girl in you.
Inspired by her singer Granny and a determination to break away from the Scottish county, the then 21-year-old student gave a pitch-perfect rendition of Adele's Someone Like You.
I wish nothing but the best for you.
Judge Kelly Rowland was overcome with emotion and could barely give feedback, but it was Louis Walsh who was surprisingly broken by Jade's performance. With voice cracking, he could just about hold it together to affirm his pride.
And you just make the whole show worthwhile. I'm so glad we came here.
She, controversially, didn't make it far on any of her 3 attempts, but with that performance, perhaps Jade didn't need to prove anything more.
Gave me chills. She gave me chills.
Number 3, Alexandra Burke proves herself. Today, Alexandra Burke is a multi-number 1 best-selling artist, a West End and movie star, and a national treasure. The X Factor was where it all began, but this was her second go. Her first attempt ended with Louis Walsh believing she was too young in 2005. However, after gracing the stage for her last performance in 2008's final, all that the judges could feel was sheer pride. Singing Hallelujah, that year's winner's single, Alexandra gave it her all, to the point where Simon was unable to say much, and mentor Cheryl's emotions got the better of her.
I can't find any words to say to you, Alexandra, other than over the past 6 months, we've become more than a mentor and an act.
Even rival mentor Louis was so impressed that he was brought to his feet, though had to quickly sit down for feedback, as his group, JLS, were her direct competition.
I love your interpretation. You have got everything it takes to be a star.
Number 2. Andrea Faustini's strong choice. Even posthumously, Whitney Houston remains a musical icon. So it's fair to say that you really have to have guts to cover her songs, or even cover her covers. Poor Dolly Parton is oft forgotten as the pen behind I Will Always Love You. At 2014's Bootcamp, now integrated with a contentious 6-chair challenge, Italian singer Andrea Faustini took a huge gamble with I Didn't Know My Own Strength.
I thought I'd never find my way.
Not to pigeonhole here, but for a man to sing the diva's ballad was a bold move too.
I didn't know real strength.
Yet his whole controlled performance was so technically brilliant that judges Mel B and Cheryl were visibly emotional from the first note. Even Louis was out of his seat with excitement, with his only feedback being a whoop. Number 1. Josh Daniel is last, but definitely not least. The pressure was on Josh Daniel, a Billingham lad, who was the last auditionee that day. As he said himself, it could either go really well or really badly.
Wish you the best of all this world could give.
But no one expected it to have the reaction that it did. Reinterpreting the lyrics of Labyrinth's Jealous as an ode to his departed best friend, Daniel gave a soulful performance that came straight from the heart and broke ours. For the first and last time in X Factor history, a performer had caused the ever-stoic Simon Cowell to lose his composure, along with his fellow judges.
I wish you the best of this world could give.
Tears were flowing as Daniel had evoked memories of Cowell's recently departed mother. In 2 minutes, Daniel proved that music is transformative, provocative, and always cathartic.
He has 3 S's.
Were there any performances that had you fighting back tears? And were they for sorrow or for laughter? Sing it out in the comments.
Sorry, that was unbelievable.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo UK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.